Hi there, Wally here. Today, let's talk about one very interesting topic, which is lifecycle environment. Let's demystify and understand how lifecycle environment works and what can we do about lifecycle environment in combination with content view. Before we move it on, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you are not yet subscribed, don't forget to hit the bell and allow notification. Then anytime that I release a new video, you will get notified and will receive the next one as well. Feel free to take your preferred beverage, have a sip, and let's enjoy the video. Pretty cool. Let's start in our whiteboard just to understand some concepts before we move it on. Here we can see our satellite. So let's put satellite like this. And then satellite will be syncing content from CDN. And in order to do that, we need a manifest. So basically, we have those components. We have the CDN, the place where satellite is gonna pull the information. We have the manifest, the information that will allow satellite to see some repositories and sync those contents. And here we have satellite, okay? Some pieces that I would like to bring here. One of them is library. And Wally, what is library? Anytime that you enable repository, your repository will be located at library, okay? This is the default place. So for this scenario, for instance, let me change the color and let's say that I enable rel 8 base OS. And then I also enable rel 8 app string. So we have two repositories over here. We just enable, and what will happen at the end of the day is those repositories will be available on my satellite. And I believe you know already content view. Maybe you have heard about content view, but at this moment in library, there is one guy called default, or let me just put the initial, default organization view. So by default, the default organization view will be there. And once you sync those repositories will be available via default organization view. This is the default, this is the standard. You don't have to enable or select or create anything here. Just enabling the repositories and syncing the organization view will be there. Wally, could you show me that? Definitely. Let me bump a little bit the font size and let's take a look on content, lifecycle environment. Here you can see the library. So we can see all the information like how many products, how many repositories, package, errata, and module string. Once we click on library, you can see some additional information. The one that I would like to bring your attention is this package. And then we can select the content view and you can see here the full organization view. So again, we didn't create any content view. The default organization view will be here by default. Once I select the default organization view, I can see which repository is part of that content view. And then you can see all the repositories that I do have, like anything that I sync on my satellite will be available via default organization view. Okay. Wally, can I see this on the hosts? Definitely you can. So let's pick node 1, for instance. You can see over here the organization view in library. So if we try to change, I can pick my lifecycle environment, which is library. And at this moment, I have just the organization view. Again, I didn't create this. Once I install satellite, deploy satellite, enable repository, and sync, my default organization view will be there. Okay. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So we have the library, okay, the organization view. This is very similar like if you register your machine against the CDN or the customer portal subscription.rhscm.red.com. By default, you will be getting the latest version of the package. The organization view in the library will be acting very similar to that behavior. If your satellite is syncing, for example, daily, hourly, then all the latest versions of all those packets will be available via the organization view. All right, and then the next point here is about content view. So let's suppose that I created my content view rel. Let's put R8. And in this content view, I added my rel 8 base OS, and I also add my rel 8 app string. Let's put like this, or let me put base OS and rel 8 app string. So I added those repositories to my content view, like this one over here. Then once I create my content view and I publish, my content view will also be in library. So now in library, what will happen is I should be able to see like the full organization view and also CV underline rel 8 or R8. And why is that? Because by default, anytime that you publish a new content view, the content view will be in library. Okay? Okay, Wally. So let's think about this scenario. I have my machine over here. My content host 1 is registered against this satellite, and it is consuming content from content view R8 underneath library. I have my library slash content view rel 8. And then check this out. I have that number of packets, that list of packets. I have this one up and running. And then someone came to me and say, hey, Wally, I would like to do some tests because I know that Apache released a new version, and then we have the new version. Could you just update like this content view just in order to bump some packets here and here? And then I'll say yes, definitely. So I go to my satellite. Let's suppose this was version 1. Then I go to my satellite, I hit the button, and then I create a new version of that content view. Once I release a new version of that content view, what will happen is this guy will bump to the version 2 in library. Okay, anytime that you publish a new version, that new version will be updated, and this by default will be in library. And then what will happen is now via content host 1, I can see the new package. And this is the expected. This is what I'm looking for. However, let's suppose that we have something like this. I have like multiple servers that are also consuming content from this content view. And this can be a problem because like this is my development box and I would like to test some stuff, and all the servers here, they are production servers. And then what I did was basically I bumped the versions of those packets. For my dev environment, this is good because I would like to test new stuff. However, for my production servers, this can be a big problem because if anyone came here and try yum update, for instance, what will happen is they will be able to get all the new versions of those packets, and I'm not sure if those packets will work fine with the third-party softwares because I didn't test. So this can be a problem, okay? And this is when Lifecycle environment came aboard because this is definitely a very, very nice situation. So let's keep this environment over here and let's think about Lifecycle environments. So in general, we see things like this. I have my dev, I have my QA, and I have my prod. So 3 different lifecycle environments. And I would like to keep them independent because now I should be able to register my production servers on this box or in this lifecycle environment. For my development environment, I will be using this lifecycle environment. And if I need to do some QA process, I can use this lifecycle environment. So, all right, how this basically works. Thinking about my content view. All right, let's suppose that we have not yet the content view 2, but let's suppose that I have my content view on version 1. So we are here. I just created this content view. I added those base OS and AppStream. I created my content view, and then I can promote this content view to different lifecycle environments. As I said before, once I publish this one, by default, this will be on library. Okay, but now we have different lifecycle environments. And then with that, I can publish this one, content view rel 8, and I can promote to different lifecycle environments. I'm just gonna put the version. This will be simple to understand. Let me do a small change here. I'm gonna move this down and I'm gonna put this to the top because then you can see with me on the screen as well. So I have my version 1 on dev, QA, and prod. And they have the same number of packets, they have everything very, very similar to the initial stage. Like my content in this content view on dev has the same number of packets on my content in QA and is the same is in prod. Okay, version 1. And then let's create some boxes here. So let's suppose that I have my servers. They are consuming content from this content view in this lifecycle environment. Okay, I have a different box, which is here, consuming content from dev. It should be pointing to the content view just for the sake of pointing, but we will see this in action, like in the satellite environment. But now let's suppose that I have this. I have those servers here, which are consuming content from this lifecycle environment, prod in the version 1 of the content view rel 8. Okay. And then I have this machine, which is consuming content from the dev lifecycle environment in a content view rel 8 v1. They are accessing the same kind of content because they are similar. Like I have v1 on dev, QA, and prod. And then that same guy came to me and said, hey, Wally, could you bump the versions of those packets because I would like to do some tests and I need to check some new stuff. Then I said, of course. So let's create the version 2. I bumped the version. I publish. Once I publish, you already know, this will be on library. However, I promote and I will promote this one to my development environment or development lifecycle environment. When I do that, check this out. Let's suppose that here I used to have 10,000 packets, 10,000 packets, and 10,000 packets. Same number of packets, same version, same everything. In this one, I have 12,000 packets. So I have plus 2,000 packets because I bumped some version and now I have 12,000 packets. I have 2,000 packets more. And this machine will be consuming content from CVRel 8, but once this machine is registered on this lifecycle environment, I will be consuming the content of version 2. Is that clear? Are you with me? Then, okay. So, all right, now I have my development box. My development box got the new version of those packets. And then I can tell, okay, this is good. This is amazing. This is working fine. Then my team will come to me and say, hey, Wally, can you now promote this content version 2 to a different environment? And I'll say, yes, which one? QA. We'd like to do some additional tests and this and that. Definitely. So we can just promote this to the next box. And then this guy will also have 12,000 packets because this is the same content, same version. Then they will do all the necessary tests and eventually they will say, hey, can I promote this to prod? Yes. So basically, we'll promote this to prod and then all the machines will be able to get the updated content in that specific lifecycle environment. Hey Wally, some questions here. Can I create a version and promote to prod directly, skipping Q&A? Definitely you can. Like there is no need for dev, QA, prod. You can definitely publish this by default in library and promote to prod directly. Okay, pretty good. Then let's suppose that my customer came to me again and said, okay, this is good. Now I would like to add Apple. And then we have Apple 8. Apple 8 was synced. This will be synced to library and will be available on the for organization view. But keep in mind, anything that you enable or sync in your satellite will not be visible to those machines over here, nor this one, because this machine is consuming content from this content view in this version, and those machines are consuming content from this content view in this version. And then they'll say, hey, can you add the Apple to this one? Yes, definitely we can. What is the step? I came to my content view R8. I will add the new repository, Apple 8, and I will create a new version of this content view. And then this content view will be version 3. This is the new version. And again, you already know this will be published in library. Okay. So, okay, now can I push this one to a different lifecycle environment? Definitely I can. So I can promote, and once I promote, this will be available over here. Now the difference is I have my 12,000 packets. Let's say that I'm still with my 12,000 packets. However, I have plus packets from Apple. Then will be 12,000 from my base OS and AppStream plus some additional packets from my Apple. Let's suppose 13,000 packets. Again, this will be on my development lifecycle environment. In this case, this machine will be able to see the new set of repositories and packets, including Apple. But see, this is not affecting my production environment at all because this is just in my development environment. Then I have all my process or my cycle. Then, okay, I have this one, this is on my dev, I'm doing all the tests that I need to do. And I'm pretty confident that I should be good to get this content and also push to my prod. Hey, would you like to pass to QA? No, I'm good. I can just promote this directly to prod. So yeah, basically what will happen is something like this. We can promote that version of the content view to this lifecycle environment. And after that, what will happen is all those servers now will be able to see the content from that content view. Note that the content view name is still the same, CV underline rel 8. The only information that is changing, it is the version. For those content hosts, they have no idea about the version. They know the content view name. So once they are pointing to CV rel 8, that's okay. That's enough. If we just bump the version over here, what will happen at the end of the day is those machines will be able to see the content of that content view. All right. Amazing. Basically, this is how content view works and lifecycle environment. Let me share one more point here because we are talking basically about content views. And then you say, Wally, I do know that we do have composite content view. What is the difference? So let's say that I have my composite content view, Acme rel 8. The main difference is, let's suppose that I have this content view with 3 repositories, and then I have another content view with some additional repositories. For example, I can have on rel 8 just my Red Hat repositories, and then I can create another content view just for third-party repositories, Apple, for instance. In my content host, like in this machine over here, I cannot point to 2 different content views at the same time. So what I have to do is just use the composite content view. In the content view, I will set repositories. In my composite content view, I'm gonna set content views. So in this composite content view, I'm gonna set this content view or multiple content views. And this is the one that I'm gonna publish to different lifecycle environments, dev, QA, and prod. So basically, this is definitely a good practice. What I would like to recommend is something like this. Like you can see this guy over here, CV third party. And then on this content view third party, we can definitely add some repositories. Like I have 2 content views now, independent content views, CV underline rel 8, CV underline third party. And on this one, the composite content view, I can combine both third party. Nice thing here, I can set one specific version or I can set the latest version. So I recommend latest version. I'm gonna show you why. But if you say, okay, I have this content view rel 8, which is version instead of I set the latest version, I would like to keep the version 1. So you know that the content of the version 1 will be the content of this composite content view. Wally, is this recommended? No. In general, we use the latest version, and there is one feature called auto publish, which is pretty good. Once you bump a new version of this content view, the composite content view will get bumped as well in a sequence. All right. So let's do some exercise here based on this picture. And definitely we can go back and forth just to understand how to do this. I removed some content here. So if we came and take a look on lifecycle environment, there is no additional lifecycle environment. In the same way, the content view. So there is no content view. So what we are gonna do is let's create the content view rel 8 and let's do rel 8 base OS and AppStream. So content view rel 8. This is a content view. From here, show repositories. This is rel 8. So I would like to select my AppStream, this one, my base OS, and my satellite clients, this one. Add repositories, and then there you go. Now I have my AppStream for rel 8, my base OS, and my satellite clients. Publish new version. So if you see, I'm going to publish this on library. This is the default. Satellite Web UI is going to ask you, hey, would you like to promote to different life cycles? As you can see, I do not have any additional life cycle. I just have library. Then doesn't make sense I enable this because there is no additional life cycle environment. But yeah, as I said before, I should be able to pick multiple or different lifecycle environments and promote this in a sequence as part of this flow. All right, let's uncheck this and let's click next. And yeah, by the way, if you want to add a description, definitely you can. So this will be content view rel 8 version 1 library. Finish. So this is going to proceed. It's going to process all the information. And at the end of the day, we'll create a content view CV underline rel 8 or R8 in our library. And then definitely we can take a look on how this will be. Very nice. We are here. Let me click on content view once again. And then you can see content view rel 8 version 1 library. We can see over here where this guy is available. By default, library. I can click over here and see some additional information. Let's click on CV R8. And then, as I mentioned before, we have the version. So if you compare, remember, version 1. We have this version 1. Then, okay, if I would like to work with lifecycle environments, because we spoke about this one, I have my content view, rel 8 base OS and AppStream. I didn't add the satellite here, but let's think about the lifecycle environments, dev, QA, and prod. How can we create this one? I can access content, lifecycle environment. You can click on this create environment path on the top right corner, and this is going to ask you the name of the environment. If we take a look in our, we have dev, QA, and prod. So let's start by dev. You can add a description if you wish. While can I set some space dev of the environment? Definitely you can. You can see the label. We'll add some underline over here. But again, let's keep it simple. Just dev, save. And then I have my development lifecycle environment. Is there one concept here that you can create like in a single line or continue this flow, adding environment, or you can create like different environment path? If you create a different environment path, for instance, something like this, you can see that you have two different workflows. This is not what we are looking for. So let's remove this environment. One thing that we would like to do is click on this button, add new environment. And from here, we can set like QA or Q&A. And you can see prior environment. So if I set library, will be as before, will be like in parallel. If I set dev, this will be a continuation of dev. This is what we are looking for. And then let me add a new one, prod. Then this will be after Q&A. If I would like to add after dev, definitely I can. I can change those things here, but let's add this after Q&A. So, okay, we have a similar environment from this picture. I have my dev environment after my Q&A and after my prod. And with that, we can see some information over here. Content views. How many content views I do have in this lifecycle environment? 0. In Q&A, 0. On prod, 0. How many content hosts I do have in this environment? All of them 0 because we just created those lifecycle environments. So I came to my content view. This is my content view. I can see library. I can do two different things here. One is I can click on the 3 dots and hit promote. This is gonna ask me which lifecycle environments I would like to promote. I can click on the content view and from here do the same, like promote this specific version. Because let's suppose that I have multiple versions and I would like to promote one specific version. So I can go on this way. All right, let's pick a version 1 and let's promote this to all of them. Dev, Q&A, and prod, and promote. And that's it. Simple, easy. So basically what we are doing is this one. I have my v1 on dev, I have my v1 on QA, and I have my v1 on prod. All right. We need to wait for this to finish. This is basically pretty quick. Meanwhile, let me know in the comments, are you already using lifecycle environment in your environment? And what do you think? Is this useful? Are you facing some issue or questions when working with lifecycle environment in combination with content view? Let me know in the comments. I will love to hear that. And also to answer some questions if you may have. Pretty good. Check this out. Now I have my version 1 of this content view and I can see all the environments, library, dev, QA, and prod, which is amazing. I know that I have the same content view in different lifecycle environments with the same content, the same number of packets, the same number of errata, module stream, all of them the same in different lifecycle environments. Okay? All right. So with that said, let's add some machines consuming content. This is rel 8. So let me take a look on rel 8. Let me check by content hosts. Yeah, I have 3 systems over here. They are consuming content they are from rel 8, 8.10. So I can do something like this. Those machines over here will be consuming content from node 1, 2, and capsule. So let me show you this. I can change on different ways. One is I can pick that system. I can see this content view details. I can click on edit content view assignment, and then I can pick this machine will be on my development environment. And then I can pick that specific version of the content view. So save, yes. This machine now is consuming content from this lifecycle environment, this content view, all right? So let's come back to the host. Let's suppose that I would like to do a bulk action. Like I have this one and I have my capsule and I would like my capsule to be on production lifecycle environment and then consuming content from that specific content view. Select action, change content source. And from here, I can select the content source. I know that both machines are consuming content from satellite, so I can pick satellite. I know that we would like to get this content from prod, so I can pick the prod lifecycle environment. And then I have my content view R8, and then update host manually. So basically what this is gonna do is I can do this in bulk action. I can do this change on a huge number of hosts in a single shot. Pretty great. After that, let's do a double check. Content hosts. Now check this out. I have my node 1, which is getting content from dev lifecycle environment, content view R8. I have my node 2 and capsule, which is getting content from prod lifecycle environment on the same content view. All right. And we know the version. This content view is version 1, as we have here. Like we have some machines getting content from prod lifecycle environment, this one, and we have one machine getting content from the dev lifecycle environment, this one. And they are getting content from the same version of the content view. If we return to the content view, let me open the content view in a different tab. We can see that this content view was promoted to library, dev, Q&A, or QA, and prod. Okay. All right. What is the next step? Version 2. What is the version 2? I would like to do some changes. I would like to add something to create a new version. Let's suppose that my satellite is running for a while. Then what I would like to do is get the new version of those packets. I can definitely click on this button and this is going to create like a new version. So let's do that. Publish a new version. Again, if I would like to, I can select promote. And then, okay, I would like to promote this to dev lifecycle environment specifically. Okay, I can pick this one over here, hit next, and then boom. So the result of this is for the version 2, I will provide some additional packets, and those packets will be available on this content view. They will get updated on library and also on the dev lifecycle environment. Very, very similar to this picture. Like we created version 2. This version 2 was initially promoted to the dev lifecycle environment. Now let's suppose that I'm going to work with the development machine, do all my tests. And once I have this test done, I would like to promote the version 2 to different lifecycle environments, QA and prod. And here we are. So let's click on version or versions. And then check this out. I have my version 2. My version 2 is available in library. So anytime that you update, the latest version will be the one in library. And I have this version 2 already in this lifecycle environment, the dev lifecycle environment, because I picked this version and I promoted to this lifecycle environment. So with that, like here, we do not have any change, but let's put this fun because, you know, we enjoy fun things. Let's suppose that I'm not familiar yet with composite content view, and I heard that I can definitely add some additional repositories. So I have this Zabbix thing, which is a monitoring product. So let's add this repository. I would like to add this to my content view. So now my content view has BaseOS, AppStream, clients, and then I have the Zabbix because I would like to test, give it a try on Zabbix. So I'm gonna publish a new version, adding Zabbix client, and then I'm gonna promote this one to dev as well, and hit finish. So the expected behavior here is I'm bumping the content view rel 8 or R8. I'm adding the Zabbix repository at this moment. And at the end of the day, I can use this content view to install Zabbix on my clients. Wally, can I use the version 1 to install Zabbix? No, because I don't have any Zabbix repository on that version of the content view. I'm adding this right now. So let's take a look on how this will be in a few seconds. Okay, check this out. Let's click on versions one more time. You can see that now I have the version 3 and check this out. This is amazing. I have a different number of packets because we added those repositories. If I open version 2 and version 3, let me show you the difference. Like this is the version 2, and here you can see the list of repositories. AppStream, BaseOS, and Satellite Client. If I go to the version 3, I can see Satellite Client, BaseOS, AppStream, and also Zabbix. All right, we know that. This is cool. And if I would like to see the lifecycle environments, as I mentioned before, anytime that you publish a new version, the latest version will be available in library. Because of that, we can see version 3 over here. And once I promoted that version to dev, there we go. I have this version over here as well. Hey Wally, I can see that version 2 has no environment. There we go. It is not over there. And version 1 is on QA and prod. Okay, so at this moment, we are here. I have my additional packets, some additional content. Let's say that my developer just did all the tests, everything, and he said, okay, can you promote this to QA? Definitely. This is the version. We can click over here, promote, pick QA, and promote. So again, what will happen? Satellite is gonna pick this specific version of this content view and will promote this version to that specific lifecycle environment. In this case, QA. Amazing. Check this out. Now I have my version 3, development, QA, and that's it. And my servers on production lifecycle environment, they are still seeing this repository with this number of packets. Then there is no change at all on prod environment. So my team came and said, okay, now everything's good. Like we tested the latest version of this package, everything's work as expected. Can we move this to prod lifecycle environment? Definitely. If you don't remember how, content view, click on the content view. Now we have the version. I would like to bump or promote the version 3, promote, and then I can pick prod. And then there you go. Now at the end of this process, all the lifecycle environments, they will be consuming or they will be providing content from this content view in the same version. Like version 3 will be standard to all of them. Like you can see that we have the version 3 on dev, QA, and prod. And this is how this works. And then eventually someone came to you and said, hey, but you should be using composite content view because composite content view is amazing. It is a new feature, definitely will give you some flexibility. You will be able to work with different content views in that composite content view. Can I change this one right now? Definitely you can. You cannot change, you have to create one, but let me show you how to do this. In order to achieve the similar environment of this, and I'm not sure if the font size here is a little tiny, so let me bump this a little bit. Okay, let me remove this. So I would like to create my third-party content view. So create content view, CV third-party, create content view. Now show repositories. And on this content view, I'm gonna add Zabbix. So, okay, I have my Zabbix. Let me publish this. No need to promote and finish. At the end of the day, I will have my content view only with Zabbix. Pretty cool. If we take a look here, Zabbix or third party, we can see version 1, 452 packets, okay, in library. Amazing, Wally. What about the CV rel 8? Because we have already Zabbix over there. So I can pick repositories. No need to click on version. You can go straight to repositories. By default, Satellite will be filtering all the edit. So you can see the edit over here. I would like to remove the 8 Zabbix from this place. So I can just click on the 3 dots and remove. If you are going to remove more than one repository, you can definitely pick them over here and you can remove. This is better. But if you have just one, no need to pick or select. You can just click over here and remove. And am I in the correct one? Yes, am I? Yes. So remove, content view removed or content view updated. All right, I remove it. Should I do something else? Yes, you need to publish. Anytime that you do a change about repository, if you add a repository, remove a repository, create a filter, change a filter, you need to publish a new version. So Zabbix, remove it from this content view. And again, I'm not gonna promote this right now. Just hit next and finish. If you want, definitely you can click on close here. This task will still running. Like we can see the version over here. If you close that window, that will not affect the task and will not stop or create any kind of problem. All right, you can do any other tasks as you wish. And anytime that you return to this page, for example, you know you are working with content view, rel 8, if you click on versions, you can check the status of that task in this page. If the task is still running, will be something like this. If the task is finished, then you can see something like this. All right, so check this out. We have now the content view R8 version 4. And if I would like to see, and this is only on library, I didn't promote this to anywhere. If I like to see the repositories, I can click on the version and then, okay, AppStream, Base OS, and Satellite Client. Now, it is the time. You can see the icon over here. We have this icon to content view and this one for composite content view. And what how composite content view works. As we spoke here, content views, you enable or disable, add or remove repositories. In the composite content view, you will be working with content views. So let's create our composite content view, Acme Rel 8. Attention here, because by default, you can see this content view and there is this composite content view. You need to pick this one. And there is this checkbox auto publish. If you want, you can definitely keep this one disabled and enable after, but I really recommend it to enable auto publish. I'm gonna show you why. So let's create the content view or composite content view. And once I'm here inside the composite content view, this is another very, very common question. While I'm here, I created this composite content view. I assigned the machine. It is not working. Why is that? If we return to the main page, this is the composite content view. You can see that this was not published yet. So there is no content, there is no track, there is no information. So you just created the composite content view, but you need to add the content views. You have to publish, all right? So let's click in the composite content view. Details, some additional information about this composite content view. Versions, there is no version yet because we didn't publish. Content views, here is the trick. You can see that we have content view row 8. It is already in version 4. And then we have the content view third party on version 1. Now those versions, they are very clear. When we spoke here, like version 1, version 2, version 3, anytime that you publish a new version of the content view, a new version will be created, a number, a sequential number, and definitely this is what will make difference when you provide that content to a lifecycle environment or to a content host, all right? Okay, I can pick, you can see not added, some description. I would like to add all of them. So I just selected add content views. This is very important. I have here my third-party repository and I have my Red Hat repository. What this is asking is, hey, would you like to pick one specific version of that content view, or would you like to keep this updated in the latest version? Basically, that's it. Let's suppose that I create this content view and then I will pick the version 2. Independent how many times I update this content view from now on, this composite content view will be always pointing to the version 2. If you have this necessity, this is for you, okay? I can tell you for sure, 99% of the case, this is not the situation. This is very, very punctual. Normally, what will happen is this. Always update to latest version. So if I, as user, bump my content view row 8, I would like to bump as well my composite content view, or at least this reference, okay? So yeah, I will be always pointing to the latest version of my third party and also to my content view row 8. Okay, I added, and then I have my list of content views. Then publish a new version. Then you can see some additional information over here. Description. Again, I can promote this. I'm not gonna promote at this moment, but let's hit next. In the description, let me add adding rel plus Zabbix stuff. And next. Here you can see a review and finish. Again, what this is gonna do? This is gonna combine two content views in a single composite content view. So once you have your composite content view, you can now promote your composite content view to different lifecycle environments. And basically that's it. With that said, all of your machines will be able to see the contents that are part of the different content views. And in this case, your composite content view can work in the same way as the content view. Pretty cool. Now let's take a look on this. I have my, let's click on content views, and I have my composite content view Acme R8, which is available only in library. All right. So same as before, if I would like to, I can promote it to different lifecycle environments. Let's do this. Promote. As I said before, can I do just for one specific place? Or yeah, I can. There are some warnings like about the sequence, but definitely we can do something like this. Dev, QA, and prod. So all of them will contain the same version of this composite content view, which is a combination of the content views. Pretty neat. Take a look. We have the composite content view, version 1. This was promoted to all the environments, dev, QA, and prod. Nice thing about composite content view, I can click on the version, and the first option in components, I can see the name of the content views that are part of this composite content view. So I know that the content view row 8 or R8 in version 4, it is here. And I know that my content view third party 1.0, it is here. Okay. Let's see in action out publish. Basically, what will happen is this. Let's suppose that I have my out publish disabled. Okay. Then I came to my content view. I came to my third party repository. There are some new packets in this repository. Satellite was able to sync the contents. And then I came over here, or I add some additional repositories. Added some new amazing features. Then next and finish. The number of packets here will be the same, but you got the idea. Like we got new features or new packets on this content view. This is the new version. We have the third party and then version 2. Okay. My machine will be pointing to the composite content view. We will not be pointing to this content view anymore. So let's open this page over here. Let's suppose that I have my node 1. Let me pick the node 1. See, this is getting this content. So let's change this one to dev, and then composite content view Acme R8. Okay, now this machine is consuming content from this place. And then I know that I created a version 2. And then, okay, I expect that my machine get the content, the new content that is available on version 2. However, check this out. We have the composite content view. If I click in the composite content view, this is available in different versions. You can see an arrow over here, which means, hey, there are some components that got updated, but this is not here yet. Basically, this is what this means. If we take a look on this version 1, the content view third party is 1.0, is still on 1.0. So, Wally, what should I do? I can click on my content views. You can see that now we have the version 2. I can click on publish new version, publish. I should be able to promote. I didn't promote. Let's just publish this one, then I can show you. As I mentioned before, we can close this window if you wish. So let's click on our composite content view versions. And we can see that now we are publishing a new version of this composite content view, version 2. Pretty good. And you can see this is not highlighted anymore. So let me open both of them here, the version 1 and version 2. If you see the components, this is version 1. This was pointing to the content view third party 1.0. This is the version 2. You can see that version 2 is pointing to the content view third party 2.0. Okay. But this was 2 steps because I went to this content view, I published this content view, and then I had to came here on this composite content view and publish this composite content view manually, like a lot of steps. And I'm lazy. You know that I'm too lazy. So because of that, I really love this one over here. So with that said, let me close all those pages and I'm gonna keep this simple. We have the content view. Let's open composite content view over here. And we have this version, okay? Version 2 that was updated manually. Details, auto publish is enabled. Are you with me? auto publish is enabled. Let's keep on version 2. And now, my dear friends, let's open the third party. Again, let's suppose that I added a new repo, that I added some stuff, or I removed some stuff, or new content is available. I can just hit publish new version. Let's rock. I will not promote. Finish. What will happen is this content view will get published. Once you have this published, this will trigger the composite content view because we have the auto publish available or selected, and then we can see the version 3 over here. And this is automatic or automatically if you prefer. See the description auto publish and was triggered by that specific content view in that specific version. So this is pretty good. This is pretty amazing because you don't need to worry about the composite content view. The composite content view will get automatically updated for you. Okay, one additional point here. Wally, where this composite content view will be published? Always in library. This will not update automatically to dev, QA, prod, not at all. Always for library. So from now, as we saw, like I have my version 1 available on dev, QA, and prod. This was my initial configuration, my initial setup. And now I have my version 3 on library. So fair enough. I would like to promote this to my dev environment. So once I promote this to my dev environment, what will happen is the version 1 that was before in my dev now will be version 3. And then my machine will be able to consume content from the new content view, or in this case, the new composite content view, but in the version 3. So basically, this is how this works. And once again, I have this one over here. This is on my dev environment. I'm doing a lot of tests. And eventually my team just came to me and said, okay, we closed all the tests. We made all the tests, everything that we need. Could you push this one to production? And one nice thing here, you can see that I'm promoting only the composite content view. So I'm not pushing the content views anymore. And this is the beauty, like just work with the composite content view and that's it. At this moment, the composite content view version 3, it is on dev. Then once they gave me the green light, I can pick my QA and prod and boom. And at the end of the process, the content of both content views or multiple content views inside of this composite content view will be available to all the clients in the different lifecycle environments. Something like this. If we return to the content view page, check this out. My content view, it is just in library. It is the latest version. See, I have this one just in library. If we take a look on content view row 8, library version 4. Hey Wally, could I remove this one over here? Definitely you can. This will not affect your production environment or the way that you are doing things here because the version 4 is the one in use. Eventually, I see people that keep like the 3 latest version, and then because they have like 50, 60, 70 different versions, then they keep like the latest 3 just for the sake of I'm using the version 4, but eventually I got something wrong. Can I roll back to version 3? Definitely you can. Could you show me that, Wally? Definitely I can. This is another bonus. So in this case, we have composite content view, Acme. The version 3 is the one in action right now. And from here, I can see content view rel 8 is version 4 and third party is version 3. And then once we release this in prod, someone said, man, this is wrong because something is happening. This was not happening in the previous version of the third party. Could you roll back? Definitely we can. We can click on content views, third party. This was the one causing problems. I can click over here, remove, always update. I can pick the version 2, which was working before. And again, now I have this guy. So publish a new version. And I would like to promote because now, assuming that my problem was on dev and I was testing, something like that, Or if you say, okay, this was causing problem on all the environment, I would like to roll back this to all of them, or maybe only to prod. Different scenarios, different necessities, but let's roll back this to all of them. That's okay, fair enough. So we can definitely publish, and what will happen is we are doing a rollback. So we are rolling back to the previous version, and no new version, or at least the versions after that specific time frame, will not be available in this composite content view anymore. So you have enough time to be working with this in your lab and check, okay, why I got this problem, why this happened, because you have the dev, QA, all the environmental tests. Something was off. This is not what happened in real life in general, but sometimes, yes, sometimes you have this process, this workflow. Okay, my dev environment worked fine, my QA worked fine. When I push this to production, something happened. So yeah, this is one way that you can definitely roll back such information. And that's it. Basically, this is gonna, at least from the repository perspective, because if you deploy the package on your server, you have to roll back somehow. Can be a snapshot, can be like doing a downgrade, yum downgrade, or any other method that you do have already in place. All right, check this out, version 4. Let me show all the versions. I'm gonna open version 3 and version 4, then we can compare. This is version 3, and we can see the third party is 3.0. When you go to version 4, the third party rolled back to 2.0. So yeah, definitely this is a nice approach that you can think of, combining content views, composite content views, and lifecycle environments. Something like this. Hey Wally, can I combine or create like multiple lifecycle environments? Something like web, app. Then you have one specific set of content views for your web applications. Uh, Something like DB servers, and then you can put DB servers dev and prod, or DB servers web app. Like, there is no right or wrong here. The main point is satellite will be an amazing tool that will give you flexibility to work with lifecycle environments combining with content views. Eventually, I see people doing things like this. Man, I have my library and I have my def organization view, and that's it. This is enough. And then, okay, how can you be sure about the version of the Apache or kernel that you are providing to your server? I don't care. Like, Satellite is working basically as a repository. Instead of opening internet access to all of them, all my clients, like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 clients, I have just Satellite. Satellite is going to the CDN. Like here, it is getting all the contents, and then I have all my servers pointing to this place, the organization view, and I'm good with that. If I need to do like an update, if something fail, I have a snapshot of that server, then I roll back the snapshot and I work on that specific server. Again, this is up to you and up to your company. The main message here is you are able to work with lifecycle environments, you're able to work with content views, you're able to combine them, giving you flexibility and things like this. Like from here now, we can see my developer environment has 2 content views and 1 content host. In my Q&A, I have 2 content views, I have no content host. In my prod, 2 content views and 2 content hosts. If I click over here, this is also nice. You can do some queries. All the type of query that you did on library, or that we did on library before, when we click over here, all the information that we have on library, you can get on prod. So for instance, content view. Okay, I can see both content views and then the number of repositories. I can see the package, and then I can pick one specific content view or composite content view. I can see the repositories that are part of that content view or composite content view. I can filter by package, like name equal kernel, things like that. And then I can do all the type of queries that will help me to maintain and manage my systems easily, simple, And yeah, definitely this will give you a lot of flexibility in a way that you know for sure what package version it is available to your systems in one specific lifecycle environment. And at the end of the day, if you need to do some kind of test in some of your machines, definitely you can use an approach like this. I'm gonna promote a new version of this content view or composite content view to this specific lifecycle environment. And then I can do all my stuff, all my tests. I can check the version of the package. Yeah, definitely you got the message. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. The main message, the main idea here was to show how to combine content views, composite content views, and lifecycle environments. Because as we saw, there are a bunch of flexibility. We can do a lot of cool stuff. All right. Again, don't forget to subscribe in this channel. If you saw some valuable information here, hit the bell, allow notification, hit the thumbs up, and definitely share this video with that friend that is struggling to maintain his or her environment. So I'm pretty confident that they will love this kind of content. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.